Well. Hello. Stuck in infinite ads? Sorry, Appy. You won't get any more for another hour, though. It's any consolation. Got a little bit different background. I'm gonna turn the brightness up a little bit. Yeah, like that. Right there. That's good lighting. Boom. Done. Alright. Wasn't sure what lighting would look good with this background, but we figured it out just now. Yeah, sorry. Ads run for 3 minutes an hour. It's the lowest I can do. I could separate it and 2 1-minute 30s. But I'd personally, I'd rather do one long stretch of 3 minutes, and then that way I don't have to do it again, you know, later on. That's my personal pref. Anyway, congrats on firsts, Appy Boppy. Monkey. Congrats on second, Go Paul. What a treat to have you in today. I didn't think you'd be here. Thought you'd be stuck working, maybe watching videos or something, some sort of training. I don't know what you're doing anymore at work nowadays. Oh, just realized the alerts are not what they're supposed to be. Let me fix that real quick. I'm excited today. I feel like it's been so long since I streamed, since I didn't stream on Monday. Feels like for some reason we skipped a week, but we didn't really skip a week. Baby, no money. Alright, there we go. Classic Kevin follow. Start off the stream. Edge time done? 3 minutes played twice for some reason. You got scammed. Wait, do I get double the money? Do I get double the AdSense since since you had to watch it twice? W Appy. Maybe I'll make like another 2 pennies off that. Just for Twitch, yeah. Damn it. I'm lucky. I forgot, I went back and looked to see how much I made off of ads. Like in a month. I don't remember how much it was. It was more than I thought I would make though. I thought I was making like 2 cents a month or something like that, or like $1 a month. And I think it was slightly more than that. It's like $5 or something. And I was like, oh shit. It's a lot more than I thought. Ooh. What's up, Trev? How are we? You have a part 2 to your intro now, Trev. I've noticed. You do the ooh, what's up, and then you do the how are we with the fingers. You have to do the fingers, pointing slightly like 45 degrees. There's a part 2. Skipped a week and it feels like it's been forever. Dude, I know. It really does feel like it's... For me, it feels like I skipped a week. But we just didn't do Monday this week. I didn't say why I didn't do Monday, but like I said last week, I didn't know what I was going to do for the Monday stream. And usually I have like the month planned out. But I wasn't sure because of what we've been doing recently. We've been doing like goals, and I've been trying to figure out like where to go with the stream and stuff. And so I've kind of been just doing it as we go. But last week I was like, I don't know what we're doing next week. And I didn't decide on a topic until like Sunday night. And then the day of, I was like, oh, I actually need to prepare a bit more for this one. So I was like, let's hold off on it. And the topic was insecurity. So I wanted to do some research on insecurity. And I was also feeling insecure as well throughout that week. So I wanted to talk to my therapist as well about it, to kind of see if I learned anything from her about myself and insecurity in general. And glad I did. So yeah, now I feel prepared to talk about it. Feel very well prepared. Not that there's a lot to even go over, honestly. I don't imagine we'll talk about it for too long. But it is really interesting. It is really interesting, the bit that I researched and what I learned about insecurity and also myself. How are we though? We're pretty good. We're pretty good. I'm doing all right. Sleep schedule's a little fuckoed. I think that's my only complaint. Been up since like 2 a.m. So, I went to bed yesterday like really early. I don't remember what time I went to bed. Oh shit! 50 streamer streak. Hey, Gopal's the GOAT, man. Today's the day. It really is. I forgot. Forgot that today was the 50 streaker day. Oh man. I still want to come up with a system of getting rewarded for stream streaks. I just don't know how I'm gonna do that, and it's kind of like it's on the list of things to do, but it's kind of low right now. I gotta figure out the background stuff and the future of the stream stuff first, and then I'll do like that in the currency and also like the channel point stuff. There's some things I want to add other than what's already there. I want to have like cool stuff you can redeem for stream streaking, because I feel like that's the cool one. Fuck the other stuff. You know what we should do? Dude, I saw Grubby do this. We should give some points away. We should give some channel points away today. I'm in the mood, because it's a weird day. We're streaming on a Wednesday, so I want to like give some channel points away by doing like a poll for something random. I never do those. Damn. Oh man, it says the /me thing. It's not supposed to do that. Some of them it does that, some of them it doesn't. I don't know why. Probably like accidentally typed it on some of them and forgot to take it off. Sag. Happy Boppy is remembering the days where he had a big old streak and then it for some reason got deleted. Or I could have it twice, yeah. I think I'm pretty sure what happened is I made like all the commands and timers and stuff, and then I discovered there was a setting that automatically did the /me where I wouldn't have to type it. And then I went back and deleted it, and I think I forgot to delete some of them. I think that's what happened. 4-stream streaker. You're back in the grind. You're back on the grind. Better 4 than 0. I think most people don't really streak on my stream. I think it's kind of hard because I didn't have the VOD, the auto VOD thing enabled until recently. Oh, by the way, that reminds me. I had to enable it because my clip command wouldn't work without it. I figured out the issue with the clip command. It took me like 3 weeks to figure it out because I was doing everything right and I had it set up correctly. But now it works. Now it works. And I didn't realize that was an issue or would be an issue, but it makes sense in retrospect why it is an issue. So now the clip command works. Now the clip command works. So what it'll do is if someone does the clip command, you just do !clip, and it'll take the last 60 seconds from when you did the command, and it'll clip it automatically, and then also it'll send a message to the Discord of your clip, which is kind of cool. And I've been really wanting that to work, so I always forget to clip stuff. So it'll be a lot easier. But yeah. So, other news. Background's a little bit different. Goofer! Hi, Goofer! I saw you joined the Discord, Goofer, for like the second time. I think you have 2 accounts. Thanks for the quack. Thank you for the quack. Goofer. Appreciate you. But yeah, so I've done some of the background already, as you guys can see. Oh, it deleted your first account? That's weird. So I've done some of the background already, as you may have noticed already, maybe not. I'll tilt it up a little bit. So before, used to have a bunch of vinyls in the middle. I took all of those down. There was just a bunch of nails that I had to take out too. The plushies I took off from the speakers. Over here there was a bunch of vinyls as well. Removed all those, put some books in there. I thought I had enough books to put on these 2 shelves. And I could do it, but it would look a little bit empty. But also, these don't support that much weight. So I can't put too many books on there. And then over here, plant, which will be leaving. But for now, it's there. And also, I'm going to remove this poster. But I'm waiting on a cork board, the community board. Do you like Charlie XCX, Goofer? I love Charlie XCX. Anyways, so yeah. I'm waiting on the cork board that's going to go in the middle where the vinyls were. I ordered it a week ago, but I don't know. I think they have like manufacturing issues or something because it still hasn't sent out yet. And I ordered it from Amazon, so you know it should be pretty fast, but it's not. So yeah, I wanna have the corkboard up before I do anything else with the wall because I want to see how much space I have. But then after I do that, we're gonna have the mission statement, which I made in this past week. We have a new stream mission statement, which probably isn't that big of a deal to you guys, but it's a big deal to me. And it took me a while to figure it out. So I'll go over that in a second. But the mission statement will go here. And I think I know what I'm going to do with it. Just not sure how to do it yet. And then over where the plant is, we're going to have some inspirational people. And I've kind of decided on the people. A few of them for sure. And then a couple of them I'm not sure of. So I have to ask a couple people I know for like headshots. I'm going to put their pretty little faces over there with their corresponding core value. It's really fun. I'm having a great time with the background. So yeah, that'll be happening hopefully over the next week, depending on when the corkboard gets in. I pretty much got it all figured out, like I said. What other news do we have? Stream news. Oh, yeah. So the stream mission statement. If you didn't see it in the Discord, I was working with trying to figure out what the stream mission statement would be, and I started with something and I didn't really like it, and then it eventually turned into this. So the final version that I have is to liberate ourselves through authentic human connection, living according to our core values, and encouraging each other to pursue more meaningful lives. So that's what I want the stream to be kind of like centered around, is connecting with people in a real way. Which, I mean, authentic human connection to me is like being vulnerable with each other, actually interacting with each other, checking in, that sort of thing. And then living according to core values, just knowing what our core values are, each of us. I'm gonna have mine up over here when I can, and like working on those, and then encouraging each other to pursue more meaningful lives. Not to be more than they are, each person, but to just try and reach for that meaning, so that we're happier, you know? So that's what I landed on. I'm really happy with that, and I'm excited to kind of go forward with that. And then and also work on my own core values. I also figured out what I want to do for the stream in the next, like, honestly, like the next year. I've kind of got a tentative plan for what I want to do with the stream. And basically what it's going to be is experiments. Similar to what I was doing before, but I'm going to be doing experiments on myself to see how different things impact my own mood, mental health, body. And I'm going to be using actual like psychological evaluations before and after the exams, and then just like documenting the process. So the stream itself is going to be about that process, and kind of doing it together. And then also doing our normal stuff, which is checking in, doing the group huddle up, question of the day type stuff, and then talking about some sort of topic. So, but that's going to be like the next year, is just kind of adding in these different things. And the reason I want to add in these different experiments is because I want to figure out what actually makes a person happier, more fulfilled, like more grounded, like mindful, you know, connected to other people. What are the actual things that make a difference? And so I'm going to be testing myself, obviously, with the experiments and documenting it, but other people, I'm going to invite other people to do it as well. Like, you know, you guys, I'm going to be asking other people to do it, and it's totally optional, of course. So people could do it with me, or they could not. It doesn't matter. But I think it'll be fun either way. And then there's also like small ways to get involved too, of like with the community board that we're going to put up. Right now the plan I have for the community board is it's going to say like goals on one column, that people haven't started, but they want to set the goals, so the plan, right? And then the middle, in progress, whatever that goal was, you move it over one to the in progress, and then on the right is when they finish it. So there's the like accomplished side. We did the goal. I think that's going to be really fun too. And those can be like any goal that you want. It could be like a small goal. You know, maybe it's just like drink a glass of water today. I don't know. But when we get it up, that's what it's going to be. So I'm excited about that. Hopefully that's soon as well. That's really the main thing that I'm waiting for to get the rest of the background going. So a couple other changes that might not be as obvious is I used to stream in... Ooh, is this song like really loud for you guys? I'm gonna turn down just a little bit. Doesn't look like it's too loud, but anyways, it was good. Damn. Naki! Hi, Naki. What up, Naki? How you doing? I just saw your stream avatar come in, which I'm sure you didn't pick. But it's funny, your little stream avatar right here. You can pick your stream avatar if you care, or you can leave it. How do I even choose that? So if you scroll down in the stream, there's a stream avatar extension, and you can pick any Pokemon you want up to Gen 7, or you can pick like Kirby or a One Piece character. The one you have is a Dead by Daylight survivor. So there's also Dead by Daylight characters, and it's really funny that for you it defaulted to the Dead by Daylight character, because odds are it would have gone to a Pokemon, but of course for you get Dead by Daylight. Wrecked. Anyways, I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. So a few more upgrades to the stream. We got before I was streaming in 30 FPS, and I was also streaming HD. Now I'm streaming better quality, so we're in 2K now. We're in 2K, and we're also streaming 60 FPS. The reason I had it on 30 and 1080 before is because, honestly, I was streaming a bunch of games before, and so that was really taxing on my computer. But now I just do chatting. So I was like, wait, why am I not doing higher quality if I can? So now I can. And I didn't think about that until last stream. So yeah, a minor upgrade, but a nice one. And then what else? I changed the lights in the back. I put on warmer tones in the back. So there is a bit of natural light coming in that's making it a bit more white. And it's actually not quite as warm as I'd like it to be still. I'd like it to be a little bit warmer feeling. And then, yeah, the lights are casting a lot of shadows, which I don't like. So I want to raise the lights a bit, but I don't have anything to raise them with. Well, actually I do. I'm just too lazy to... I was too lazy to do it. Ooh, you got a... What's that one called? Ampharos or something? That the Pokemon you picked? Naki? Are you working from home today, Naki? Alright. Oh, packing today. Nice. How's the packing coming along? Also, I just remembered, I should have wrote all this stuff down before I started today. But we have this weekend, this Saturday, we were supposed to do the Among Us lobby, and we were also supposed to do the Scriblio. However, I talked to Grubby Tinky 2, And then I also talked to her husband, and they're doing something this weekend. So I'm going to reschedule it so that they can make it to the following weekend. So the following Saturday. What's the dot 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 for? What are we dot dot dotting? It's a little bit better. There we go. Yeah. So we're gonna do it the following Saturday, which I haven't said yet. So no game night this weekend, but it'll be the following weekend. So that Grubby can make it, and Evan, because I really want both of them to make it. Especially Evan. I've been looking forward to playing games with Evan, getting to know Evan a little bit better. I think he just started, well, he didn't just start, but he started streaming more. So I kind of want to get to know him a little bit better because of that, and just have some fun, you know. Have a good time. I don't know if anyone will be streaming. I'd prefer if people didn't stream during that, because I feel like it makes a different vibe when you're playing like a group game and someone's streaming, because then I feel like it just adds a bit of pressure, and then it makes people feel like they want to be like on, you know what I mean? Like they're trying to create content or like playing up their personality for a clip, you know what I mean? I'd rather just not have that. I'd rather just have people being, just hanging out, you know? Being real. No pressure. Just there to play a game, connect with people a bit. So I might ask everyone not to stream, which I have done in the past too. I don't think they stream on Saturdays anyways, at least not that I know of, but we'll see. We'll see. Alright. I think that's it for stream news. Immediate stream news. Might miss some stuff. I don't know. Alright, so let's move on. Let's move on to the huddle up. What do we got going on? So how are we feeling today? How are we feeling? Scale of 1 to 5. 1 being the lowest of the low. The lowest of the low. Couldn't imagine a worse time. A worse mood. That's a 1. 5. Best you've ever felt. Can't imagine anything better. How are we feeling? 3 is just an average day. Just another day. We got a 4. Nice. I'm feeling somewhere around 4 as well. Maybe I'm actually feeling like a little oddly like pretty good today. So I'm at like a 4.3, I'll say. I'm feeling good today. I've been feeling motivated the past couple days. Feel like I've figured out some stuff. I'm coming off of like a dip as well, which I'll talk about later when we get going on the main topic of insecurity. So yeah, I've been getting a lot of stuff done, so I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like a 4.3 today. That's about where I'm at. Put the question in chat just in case anyone's listening. Anyone isn't listening, but is reading chat. Give that another minute or so before we move on to the next question. Hell yeah. Dude, hell yeah. Yeah, it's been pretty nice. Been feeling motivated. Been getting a lot done. Yeah, I've been asking myself a lot of questions, a lot of introspection. Doing a little bit of reading too. I think messing with the books, like rearranging and like putting all of the books over here. I like picked up some books and I was like, oh shit, I didn't finish this book or in that book and these other ones that I would have actually liked to read. And so yeah, I just started reading some of them. And I also discovered that one of the authors that interests me talks a lot about meaning and happiness and whatnot, which is very close to what the stream talks about, you know. He released a book in March, which I didn't know about, so got that as well. And I've been listening to that as an audiobook. 3 today was feeling worse in the morning, but you feeling good just made me feel a little bit better. Put me at a 4.4 after that, man. That feels good. Hell yeah, Trev. You feeling good makes me feel good. Me feeling good makes you feel good. It's a cycle. Pretty soon we'll be at a 5. Man, that's good to hear. Are you at work right now, Trev? Well, also, you guys can't see, but I switched out the vinyls that were here with 3 different ones. I'm not sure if I like having those ones on now that I look at it. I might switch these 2 out for ones that pop a little bit more. Because this one pops out a lot with the kind of orangish lights and brown table. Whereas these 2, they blend in a little bit. So might switch those ones out again, but these ones are nice. I like them. Ooh, one thing I wanted to do was I wanted to make a point redemption thing for, like, I don't know, like a mid point redemption for taking one of the books off, because a lot of them are self-help books that I've already read, and I'll like talk about them for a bit maybe. You are? Yeah? Okay, nice. How's work going? It's feeling worse because I invited you-know-who, fucking Voldemort, you-know-who out to lunch yesterday, and they haven't answered. But then I realized I don't really care that much. Fucking based, Trev. Fucking based response. It so reminds me of myself this past week, because I had kind of the same. Oh, thank you. Thanks for the hydration check. Also, if you guys haven't drinking water or liquids in a little bit, make sure you've got some. What was I saying? Lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, it reminds me of this week. This week, we'll get into this later, but I was feeling insecure this week. Had a similar situation where I just kind of got ghosted. Long story short, and I cared. It got to me, and then it annoyed me because I was like, this shouldn't get to me. I shouldn't give a fuck. Luckily, you actually realize that you don't give a fuck, which is awesome. So far, so good. It's a long day for me since I have to record my tomorrow show today. Ew! It's like double the work. All right, let's do the next question. Do the next question. Oh, I did change the questions around a little bit too. What is one way that you could help yourself feel a little bit better today? So we had a 4 and we had a 3, and then I was at a 4.3. What is one way that we could make our days a little bit better? Just feel slightly better today. So like maybe, you know, you haven't hydrated. Could raise you a little bit. You know, raise your number a little bit. Maybe you haven't eaten anything. Eat something. Maybe you're feeling a little bit of lower back pain. You've been sitting too much. Maybe some tension in the shoulders and neck. I don't know. get up and move around a bit. Something small to get you a little bit higher, get you feeling a little bit better, whether it be mind or body. Working at other job tomorrow, and it's for a charity hockey game. It has Trev's name written all over it. I like that. I mean, that's exciting. That would get me through the workday. If I was you. If it was me, and that was gonna happen for me the next day, I was gonna, you know, go to a hockey game. Probably wouldn't do anything for me, but for you. If I ate breakfast, that would probably help. Yeah, a lot of times I skip breakfast, which is not a great thing. Not something I'm proud of. And I want to start working on that at some point. Eating breakfast and then doing things instead of doing things and then being like, oh shit, I haven't eaten anything. No wonder I'm like tired and my brain's foggy. Start doing the thing I'm supposed to be doing. Well, there you go. Go for it. What is the thing you're supposed to be doing? Is it packing? Is that what you're supposed to be doing, but you're procrastinating watching me instead? Fair. You could have me yapping in your ear while you pack. If that sounds appealing. That way you're procrastinating, kind of. Not really, but also doing the thing. One of the teams is wearing full red and black plaid. It was like it was made... Are you a plaid guy? I didn't know you were a plaid guy. I do like the colors black, red, and white together. A lot of my clothes are that color, unintentionally. As I wear a black and white shirt. Very much a plaid guy. Trev, can I tell you something? I'm not a plaid guy. I'm actually an anti-plaid guy. But for me, I'm not saying other guys shouldn't be. But for me, when I think about plaid, I feel like every guy wears plaid. And that to me makes it feel boring. So when I wear plaid, I feel boring. Even though, you know, it looks good. Looks good, it's like a solid look. That's why everybody wears it. To me, it's just boring, man. So I specifically don't get plaid. I used to have plaid stuff. Like in high school, I would wear a lot of plaid. Now, I think I have one plaid shirt that I really like, and I will wear it sometimes in the winter. But I have no other plaid. No other plaid, and I never wear any other plaid other than my one shirt that I wear. We're gonna have an enemies to lovers arc. Yeah. I'll be a stripe guy. You be a plaid guy. And together we'll clash like no one else. Yeah, boring. See, Naki says you're boring. Anime shirts, that's where it's at. And honestly, you know, looking at what I'm wearing now, this is not that exciting. You know what? Actually, it kind of is. It's kind of sick. Now that here, let me stand up and do a little twirl for you. Look, this is it's a hoodie, but it's also short sleeve, which is so cringe. But I love it. I love how cringe it is. That's the reason I wear it, is because it's like there's like cringe, and then there's like ironic cringe. I feel like it exceeds normal cringe and goes into the ironic cringe territory. A hoodie, short sleeve, and there's camo on it. Nike camo. Like, come on. You don't get better than that. You don't get more cringe than that. So actually, I do find this exciting, but not in your Probably not in the way you'd expect. Freaks on the floor now. Oh, did I forget to... Ooh, one sec. Oh, nope. There we go. All right. Let's go to third question. What's something you're trying to work on this week? Also gonna switch back to just me and you guys. And I'm gonna stand. I'm in a standing mood. Before I do that though, I hope I don't unplug this thing that I unplugged last time I stood up. I'm gonna hold on to it. Did you switch back? You switch back to your other avatar, Naki? I know it'll make... You're so right. And it did, too. No cap. No cap. Switching back! Alright, fair enough. Oh, I didn't say what would make me feel better. What would make me feel better today? I don't know. I feel like I've already done a lot to make myself feel good today. I read some of a book. I went on a morning dog walk. Worked on the stream quite a bit. Wrote down some ideas I have for future videos. I think one thing I could do is I could do a little bit of filming. That would make me feel a little bit better. Because I haven't posted on social media, and it's kind of been eating at me. A bit. Not much, but a bit. And I feel like it'd be nice to just get that going again, feel a little bit better. Just knowing that I'm going with it. That could get me a little bit better. Also, maybe staying up a little bit later. Trying to go to bed a little bit later, because yesterday I went to bed so early. And then I woke up at 2 a.m. today, so... yeah. I guess that. I tend to not clean when I get overwhelmed and it piles up, so we're unpiling this week. Hell yeah, Trev. That's a dub. W. Getting my personal hygiene back on track. Let's fucking go, man. Let's fucking go. What does that entail? Your personal hygiene? Because I know for me, like, one thing I could work on more is brushing my teeth and flossing consistently. Could do more of that. Because I am insecure. Speaking of insecurity, later on, I'm insecure about my teeth. A bit yellow. So, I could do a better job at that. Yeah. So what does that entail for you? Because that could be a bunch of stuff. Or it could just be one small thing you want to do too. Could just pick one thing instead of being like, oh, I need to work on X, Y, Z. You know. I just like that she's like 4 times bigger than everyone else. Big baby. Dude, okay, so... oh, fuck, dude. Karn's here. Yeah, you thought you were 4 times bigger than Karn showed up. Hey, Karn. Like your cut, G? Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Karn. Appreciate that. Dude, I need to upgrade my soundboard. I feel like I should have some sort of sound for that. For you flirting with me there a little bit. I don't know. This is the only one I can think of.
Nice cock.
It's all kind of lame. Definitely need to do that more as well. Yeah, I tried for a month straight. One of the challenges I did early on in stream was brushing my teeth twice a day and flossing. Dude, my teeth look so good after a month of doing that. And then I went back to my old habits after. So, oh, man. It's tough. It's tough. But yeah, the Dead by... Okay, so I can scale the characters, the avatars down and up depending on the character. But for the Dead by Daylight characters, they made it really annoying. So I would have to go in and change each individual one instead of being able to just kind of do them in a batch. I really don't want to. I really don't want to. I'm too lazy. I'm just too lazy. So all the Dead by Daylight characters are just like big, and I'm not gonna change them. I just couldn't be bothered. Couldn't be bothered. Picking one thing is probably smart. Yeah, I agree. A lot of times I tend to pick too many things to try at once, and then I burn out really quick, or I just don't do any of them because it's too many. So I would recommend doing one thing. So like maybe today you just brush your teeth. Just make sure you brush your teeth. That's a win in my book. Dude, this is a perfect example of stuff we could put on the board when the board actually gets here. Hopefully it's here by Monday. I don't even know if it'll be here by Monday because it hasn't shipped out yet, and I don't know if it will. So anyways, but that could be stuff we put on the board and be so sick. And then also, when you guys complete it, you guys will get points. And it'll be so cool, man. It'll be so cool. And then everyone will see Trev brushed his teethies today. And then and then after a certain amount of time, we just refresh it. Oh, dude, it'd be so... I feel like that's really fun. I don't know if you guys think that's fun. I think that's cool. Everyone sees their goals. Everyone knows when people complete them, no matter how big or how small they are. It's cool, man. Makes me feel like we're helping each other out in a way. And not just, you know, dilly-dallying about. Oh, showering more regularly. Are you a every other day type of fella, or are you a every few days type of fella? How often would you say you shower on average? I feel like you don't have to shower every day unless you've done stuff during the day that like made you smelly. So most of the time, I'm an every other day type of fella. I think it depends on the person and your activities. Nom nom nom. What are we nomming? Was it the cack? Were we nomming on the cack? Progress, that's what I'm saying. It'd be nice to feel like... It's one thing to like make progress yourself, but it's nice when like other people recognize your progress and then are also making progress. It makes you feel like you're kind of moving in a direction with people, which makes things easier. Every other day unless smelltivities. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm like an every other day unless smelltivities. That's the best way to put it. That's the best way to put it. I feel like if you shower every single day, you're washing off some of your natural oils too. You know? I'm like every few days. Always after work, if I feel gross. But if it's just a light day, I really just sit around and... Yeah, see? That's what I'm saying. I feel like that's probably fine. It's probably fine. I do it on light days and usually don't unless I feel I need it. Oh shit, I missed Gopal's message for some reason. I feel like sometimes I skip over Gopal's message because he's a mod. And I'm used to seeing the bot mod and skipping that message. For some reason, I feel like I do that. Sorry about that, Gopal. For the huddle up, I'm at a 2.8. All right, 2.8. What's got you feeling at a 2.8 today, Gopal? little bit less than average? What's going on? I know before you said you were feeling a little bit tired or something. You needed to figure out your sleep schedule. Is that still... guessing that's still a thing? Or maybe you're just bored because of the work situation. Drying your skin out, yeah. Yeah, I feel like if you shower every single day, it dries your skin out. You don't get you're like washing out your natural oils. It's different if you're like working out, because then you're producing like sweat and whatnot. And then, you know, you kind of cleanse yourself with the sweat and then drying it off, washing it off, you know. That to me feels, you know, necessary. All right, did we already do this one? Okay, we already did this one. If you guys haven't answered that, feel free to answer it. What's something you are trying to work on this week? I know some people haven't. So if you want to, you can. But if you don't, whatever. We'll go to the next one. This week, I am working on... I don't know. What am I working on this week? I have a phone screen tomorrow with an aerospace company. They make like I don't know, they make planes and shit. I don't know. I don't fucking know what they make. But I got a phone screen with them tomorrow. So gotta prepare a little bit. Probably not too much. Gotta apply to jobs. More jobs, that's for sure. I haven't applied to too many this week. One thing that I want to work on that I noticed in therapy this week is, and I've talked about this before, but I forget and then I remember later on because it comes up again, you know, such is life. Is noticing how I feel in the moment. I'm really good at identifying how I have felt during the day, like in the past tense though, or how I've been feeling, but I'm not good at like checking in with how I am right now in this moment. And so I want to do a little bit more of that, checking in with myself as I am. That's something I want to work on this week, amongst other things. Trying to make it through the last phone interview I got in the next 30 minutes. Ooh, good luck, Card. Good luck. This is your last phone interview? So I'm guessing you had like other ones before? Hopefully you get it if you want it. That'd be awesome. Hopefully you get the job if you want the job. If you don't want it, then like hopefully a better one comes around. It's just an introduction call. Oh, okay. Yeah, those aren't too bad. Those are usually just like, can you speak like a human? Like, can you answer basic questions like, tell me about yourself and why do you want the job? And then that's pretty much it most of the time, I feel like. Speak the English. Yeah. I feel like that's what it is most of the time. So I usually don't prep too much for those. I usually prep for the ones after that, if I make it to that, which isn't always guaranteed. Sometimes I can't speak the English, you know. I'm away to Chicago. Also been on a bit of a League kick. That's off topic. I won't get into that, but been on a League of Legends kick. All right, final question before we get into the question of the day, which I guess maybe it's not the final question if that's the case. What is something you accomplished today or this past week? Something you accomplished either today or this past week. Could be small, could be big. There's something you did where you're like, oh, you know what? Like, actually, that was a good thing that I did. Something I don't usually do, maybe. thought you said a weed kick, not a league kick. I was like, no way, but dude, you're always on a weed kick. You're always on that. Stepped out of my comfort zone a little. Okay, all right. Care to divulge what you did? Hell yeah, man. It's not easy. Maybe it'll end soon, who knows. Weed doesn't do anything for me, so I'll probably never be on a weed kick. I feel absolutely nothing when I have tried in the past. Just hanging out with a few peeps, playing volleyball. Nice. Tend to not like those big group gatherings. Oh my god, there's 40 people. Yeah, same. I'm not like a big group type of guy. Not a big group type of guy. But they are good. They are good. And I probably should do the same. Try and go out and meet some more people, but yeah, I tend to prefer like one-on-ones or very small group stuff, so it feels a bit more intimate, you know. Ooh, man, it's already been an hour. What the heck, man? Can't believe it. Yeah, ad coming up. Top of the hour ad. Appreciate people who stick around through those, or if you don't want to, you can sub for free with Prime. Skip the ad. But if you can't, you can just answer the ad question. And we won't talk about anything too important while you're gone. Home is wherever I'm with you. You guys probably got to do some work. Probably got to say some stuff on the radio for a bit. All right. All right. What was the question? What is something you accomplished today? This is something I struggle to answer a lot of times. Because what I end up doing is I'll do something, and then I won't recognize it as an accomplishment. I'll just kind of like glaze over it and go to the next thing. Okay. Accomplishment. See, I told you, this is difficult for me. I always like don't remember things I did. They don't register, and then I don't feel like things are accomplishments, so I can't remember them. So okay, well, one thing I did was you know, I was feeling insecure. I was feeling insecure this week, and I was able to kind of work through it, which we'll be talking about it. So I feel like that's a win, you know. I could have just sat with it and then not done anything about it, which I feel like a lot of times I would have done. Just kind of felt bad and then ruminate on it. But I actually sat with it and dealt with it. Talked about it in therapy. Now I'm talking about it here. But we're going to be talking about insecurity in more detail in a little bit. Probably within the next 30 minutes, I would say. All we gotta do is the question of the day. And then we'll be getting into it. I believe. We don't got anything else scheduled, do we? No, that's it. I'm gonna change the music real quick to something else. Let's do...
Newly eligible for both.
Not that. All right. Let's get through these ads. Cool, good stuff. It's a bit loud for me. Hold on. Is it loud for you guys too? It's a bit loud. We could turn it down. There we go. It's better. All right, let's get into the question of the day as the ad is wrapping up here. Question of the day today. What is one thing you are insecure about? If you're comfortable enough to share, one thing you're insecure about. I have quite a list, I'll be honest. I have quite a list of things that I'm insecure about, but they're all kind of connected in a way. But one small thing that I'm insecure about, for example, my teeth, I mentioned this earlier. Teeth are a bit yellow. So a lot of times when I like laugh or smile, I will hide my teeth. So like I'll just do one of these, you know? One of these. Or I'll like do one of these. I'll do like that, you know? Which is not enjoyable. It's not enjoyable to do that. And I have to think about that every time I do it. I have to think, oh, I don't want someone to like look at my teeth, like judge my teeth. So I'll hide them a little bit. So that's one thing, like a small thing that I'm insecure about. But there's a lot more than that, which I'll be talking about again in a little bit when we actually get into it. I wonder if there's anyone brave enough today to answer the question of the day. This one's a tough one. I figured we probably wouldn't have many people answer this one, because it is a difficult thing to admit in any scenario. I definitely don't feel comfortable telling you guys, even you guys, which I know most of you to some extent. I don't feel comfortable telling you guys that I'm insecure about my teeth. Definitely won't be comfortable later telling you about some of the other things I'm insecure about. But it's also a work in progress. Hopefully I won't always be insecure, but it is also the case that maybe I will be insecure with a lot of these things. Forever. Hopefully not, but that could be the case. We'll be talking about what insecurity is and strategies to overcome insecurity. I'll give it another minute if anyone's bold enough to answer. One thing you're insecure about. Again, you don't have to if you don't feel comfortable, but if you do feel so bold, you can. All right, I've done enough standing. I'm going to take a seat. Take a little seat. Ooh. Let's go, Paul. Feeling bold. It's a few things, but one of them is your masculinity. Oop. Do you care to elaborate on that? I feel like masculinity is kind of subjective. Especially nowadays, I feel like masculinity, the term, is not easily defined. I think a lot of people don't know exactly what it means for them. A lot of men don't know what masculinity is. So I'm curious for you, what does that mean? when you say that, if you want to elaborate. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure what masculinity means for me. But it's also one of those things where when I think about it, I don't really care. Like, I don't really care how masculine other people perceive me to be or not be. One of those things where I feel like to me it just doesn't matter. I know to a lot of people it does, but for me it doesn't. I feel like there's other things that people could judge me off of, and I could judge myself off of. And it's so low on the list for me that I just, it's not one of those like top of mind things. But I know it is for a lot of people top of mind, so tilt the camera down a little bit. Wow, stream looks so much better. Like, I don't know if you guys can tell, but the stream looks so much better than how it has. Quality wise, I can notice a big difference in how it looks. To me, it looks a lot higher quality. Looks a lot smoother on my end as well. Hard to explain like this, but never really felt like a guy's guy. And I see other men in my life, and I see like, and I feel like there's a wide gap between how they are and how I am. It feels like I don't measure up, like I was built wrong. Interesting. Geez, that I feel like this is a topic that, I mean, like you're saying, it's hard to kind of explain in one message. Because I have so many questions. Like, for example, when you say built wrong, you could mean physically built wrong, or you could also mean built wrong mentally as well. So, I mean, that's one question I have off rip. And you're saying there's like a wide gap as well. That could also mean a lot of things. So, don't feel like a guy's guy. I feel like these are three separate things within masculinity that we could go into more detail on. But yeah, I suppose I never felt like a guy's guy either. It just, but to me, it's I don't know how to put it. I feel like not being a guy's guy is not significant to how it's not significant to how I value myself, if that makes sense, or how I would value another person. Like, if I think of you and for some reason I was thinking, oh, you're not like a guy's guy, which I, first of all, wouldn't even have that thought or consider it to begin with. But if I were to have that thought, it wouldn't be something I would put your worth on, if that makes sense. Like, it wouldn't make me think less of you. And I think as well, you can think of it, because masculinity is like so subjective and not really defined. It can mean so many different things to different people. So like for you, how you see masculinity in other guys that's for you are like the typical guys, that could be a lot different for the people that you're comparing yourself to, Like, maybe they don't consider themselves like a guy's guy, All right, I'm going to do it one more time if there's any brave souls. Oh, that's not the question I wanted to do. Question of the day, what is one thing you are insecure about? Difficult to answer. I knew it would be. I knew it would be. It's hard to admit when you're insecure about something. To anybody. Especially to a group. All right. If anyone wants to answer, they can. Otherwise, I'm going to move on. Get to the meat of what we're talking about today, which is insecurity. What is insecurity? How do we deal with insecurity? Okay. So, ooh, I really like this song. This is nice. I like the piano on this song. Sorry, distracted. But yeah, so, you know, over the past like week or so, been feeling insecure. Long story short, in a quite a short time span, I got ghosted by some people on dating apps, all right? Which at this point is kind of becoming a standard experience. So it's become a pattern. And usually it doesn't get to me, but for some reason this time it did. For some reason this time it really got to me. It kind of just ruined my day. In 24 hours, I had 2 different people I was talking to ghost me. And then also I had a couple friends that I messaged that didn't respond to me. And then that just kind of like amplified it. And usually, if one of those things happens, I don't really care, you know? It doesn't affect me. But I think because it happened all in the same day, for some reason it really got to me, and I couldn't figure out why. And I also knew that I shouldn't feel insecure. I shouldn't be upset that I got ghosted. And so it annoyed me. It annoyed me that I was also feeling insecure, right? It annoyed me that I was feeling insecure when I knew I shouldn't be insecure. So there was 2 layers to it. There was the insecurity itself, and then there was the annoyance of being insecure when I felt like I shouldn't be. And so those were also, you know, on top of each other. And and that made me feel really bad. So it ruined my day. It did. And so for that whole day, I was like pretty upset. And for a lot of the next day, I was upset. But after kind of sitting with the insecurity for a while, I realized that it was connected to a number of things. So today I kind of want to talk about 1, what insecurity is, 2, what insecurity looks like, and then 3, how to overcome insecurity. So I'll kind of get into more detail of the example I just gave in a little bit, but I want to define what insecurity is first. Does anyone know? Does anyone think they have a good definition of what insecurity is? Like, when you think of insecurity, what do you think of as a definition? If anyone wants to give an answer. Also, Cork. Hello, Cork. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for the quack. How are you doing today, Cork? You got here just in time. Just started the main topic, which I know you're not a fan of the chit chat most of the time. How are you doing today, Cork? What are you up to? All right, so Oxford Dictionary definition of insecurity is the emotion associated with a lack of confidence within oneself. Okay? That's the Oxford Dictionary definition. Emotion associated with a lack of confidence within oneself. So I think the key phrase there is a lack of confidence. Okay? So if you're feeling a lack of confidence, you're gonna have to naturally ask yourself, where is this lack of confidence coming from, right? And I feel like that question is kind of easy to answer in theory, but in practice, it's hard. Which is what I discovered this past week. I feel secure. You know why? Because I use ExpressVPN. Sign up today and use code DALE for 50% off the first 6 months. You know what? If they sponsored me, I wouldn't mind. That's something I wouldn't mind being sponsored by. Cleaner version of the paragraph I was typing. Well, what were you typing? What was kind of like the vibe? Dude, I've been such a slut for these. You get these at Walmart. Better Goods, milk chocolate, praline, hazelnuts, and quinoa. Baby boy. Come to Papa. Being insecure makes me think of only focusing on what I would perceive as flaws in myself. Yeah. Yeah. I think that makes sense. And yeah, it is like you said. It's just like kind of like an example of the definition. Pork, I'm curious if you feel any sense of insecurity in your life, whether now or in the past. Get my iPad ready because I feel like today I'm gonna use it at some point. Maybe I won't, but I feel like I'll have to eventually. So anyways, back to the definition. Lack of confidence. The emotion associated with a lack of confidence within oneself. So naturally that makes you kind of ask, where is this lack of confidence coming from? And again, I think in theory, you think that's an easy question to answer, right? But in practice, it's actually not that simple. So let's take something really basic. Let's take a really basic example. Someone's like a physical feature that someone might be insecure about. So let's just take like a big nose, for example. Okay. I'm not saying a big nose is bad to have or anything like that, but this is just like an example. Okay. So some people might think to themselves, you know what? If someone says, hey, you have a big nose, some people might respond by saying, I have like a normal sized nose. That's a weird thing to say. And it won't affect them, okay? Example of how someone might be secure and how they look, even if they do have a big nose, right? However, someone else who is insecure might hear the same thing and think, well, I actually do have a big nose and that affects my self-image. And now I'm feeling all sorts of emotions that don't feel good. I feel insecure about how I look. I feel sad because someone pointed it out. Now I have social anxiety because I don't want to go out and have people see my big nose. All right. And so when you ask yourself, where is the lack of confidence coming from? It might be easy to say, well, I don't like my fucking nose, man. That's what it is. That's the answer, but that's not the answer. That's the story. That's what just happened right now. So we have to go a layer deeper and ask why. Why does that make you feel insecure? Why does that give you a lack of confidence in yourself? Okay? Because odds are you learned it from somewhere. You didn't just start life and think to yourself, I don't like my big nose. You don't come out as a baby and think, damn, my nose is fat. And that makes me less than someone with a nose that's slightly smaller. Right? So odds are you got it from somewhere. So that's what you have to ask yourself. Where'd you get it from? Are you getting it from society? Is this just something you've heard from other people? Are you getting it from conventional beauty standards? Is that what it is? Did your parents, when you were growing up, make fun of you for having big nose? Did you get bullied in school? Did you get bullied in school for your big nose? I don't know, right? I came from somewhere though, so that's what we have to figure out next. Is why, right? So that's just an example of how it's not as obvious as just like, I don't like my nose, right? You have to figure out where it's coming from. You have to ask why. Hey, yo, Chad, get a load of this guy's sniffer. No, please, Trev, no, not my nose. How did you know? I'm self-conscious, insecure about it. But no, yeah. I'm not insecure about my nose, but I know that's something that a lot of people are insecure about, is their nose for whatever reason. So that's just an example, very simple example. But obviously the examples can get a lot more complicated. They can get a lot more complicated and intricate. So there's layers of insecurity, right? So if we were to simplify insecurity, we could say there's three layers to insecurity. There's the story of what's happening right now, right? So that would be, someone told me that I have a big nose. That's what's happening right now. Then there's why you feel insecure about whatever just happened. And then there's also the behavior that comes as a result of the insecurity. So something happens, you feel insecure for some reason, and then a behavior comes out of that. All right? So we'll go through an example of that in a minute. So for me, using the example from before, about getting ghosted, it's become a pattern over the past year for people to come into my life, or they've been in my life, whether they're new or they've been in my life for a long time, and they'll just leave with no explanation. And so that's become a pattern for me. And so my brain is saying there is something wrong with you that is making people leave. Because of the pattern. It's trying to my brain is naturally trying to connect things, the events, right? And it's saying I'm the common denominator, right? So that's the story of what's happening right now. These two girls ghost me in one day, and so my brain connects that to all the other events that have happened over the past year, and then I started to feel really bad about myself. And then I start to feel insecure. So I start thinking things like, I am not physically attractive enough, or I'm not interesting enough. I didn't say the right things in the dating app or over text message. And then I start thinking of other areas that I've put effort into, like career. Been rejected from a lot of job applications I've put out there. And there's just a lot of different areas that I've put in effort, but I'm not getting the result back that I hoped for. And so that's also contributing. So that's part of the why I feel insecure. And then the behavior that results from that why, that insecurity that I'm feeling, is I start to lack motivation and energy to pursue pretty much everything, because I'm not getting any sort of like dopamine hit from the reward, because there is no reward, right? So when I go to do something new, my brain is automatically starting to think there's not going to be a reward, so like, why do it? And for example, this week, after I got ghosted by the 2 people in the dating apps, I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to fucking delete the dating apps to have some sort of control over the situation, or feel like I have some sort of control over the situation. So I deleted the dating apps to avoid feelings of rejection, and putting myself out there, being a little bit uncomfortable, and to take back some control, right? So that's a behavior that results from the insecurity. Okay, also to feel insecure, you have to not only lack confidence, but also wish that you didn't. Wish that you didn't feel insecure? Is that what you're saying? Like, you could have no confidence in your ability to sing, but not feel insecure about it because you have no desire to be a good singer. Yeah, okay, now I see what you're saying. If you're insecure about your nose, it's because you want to be attractive, not just that you think it's too big or whatever. Right, exactly. I see what you're saying. If you didn't care about being attractive, then having a big nose wouldn't bother you. Not you, I'm saying within the example. I get what you mean. Yeah, so you have to have some sort of perception and desire that what you have is inadequate and there is something else that is adequate and you want it. So yeah, I think that's a good distinction that you're making, that there has to be some sort of desire or standard or expectation, because a lot of times you have an expectation. There's 3 really common types of insecurity, and so one of them is about perfectionism, which I think is kind of what you're getting at here, where you have a high expectation of yourself, a high standard for yourself, and if you're not meeting that standard, then you're failing, right? So I wouldn't say I'm a perfectionist at this point in my life, but I definitely set a high standard for myself. And when I don't meet that standard, then it's not success to me. It's not, it's just, like a failure, But people could apply that to everything in their life. Usually I apply it to just like work things, or like productive type of things. But that could be applied in multiple domains. So that's one of the most common types of insecurity, is having a high expectation of yourself, or this like perfectionist point of view. By the way, when you say ghosted, you mean when someone never replies to you no matter how many times you try to message them or ask them a question, right? This is a good question, because I feel like people use ghosts in a lot of different ways. So I was on a dating app. I was talking to someone who seemed interested, and we talked about like setting up a date and whatnot, and we were chatting, asking each other questions and whatnot, and then all of a sudden they just stopped messaging me, and then they also unmatched me on the dating app. So I consider that ghosting, when someone just like stops replying to you for no reason, or like doesn't give a reason. That to me is ghosting. Not responding and then not giving a reason. So that happened twice from 2 different people I was interested in. And then also I messaged a couple friends and they didn't respond either, again. So that was like it just all happened in the same day. And usually, again, if it was just one of them, I think it would have been fine. I would have been totally fine. Wouldn't have thought twice about it. But I think because all of it happened in the same day, it really got to me. Nick! Hi, Nick. How are you doing, Nick? I'm doing pretty good today. I'm feeling, when we were doing the huddle up earlier, I'm at like a 4.3 today. I'm feeling pretty good. I think that's probably the highest number I've given since we started doing the huddle up, so I'm feeling great. Popping in and saying hi. I appreciate you coming in. Appreciate you coming in, Nick. I know you're having a rough go at it, and I hope you're taking care of yourself, man. Drink some water today. Eat some food. Make sure you're walking a little bit. Get a little bit of movement in. Just a little bit. Whatever feels reasonable for where you're at. Hope chat's doing well too. Appreciate that, Nick. I think most people are doing pretty good. Everyone gave over a 3 today except Gopal, who was slightly under a 3. I don't think he said why. He's probably like half focused on work. They unmatch you? Does that mean your ability to message them literally goes away? Yes. In most cases. In this case, I had their number as well. So I could have messaged them on, like, I could have texted them again, but I felt like that was unnecessary. Felt like that was unnecessary. I feel like unmatching, you know, kind of sends the message in a way, you know. Very busy. 4.2 is awesome. Yeah, man. Feeling pretty good. Busy at work today. I feel like you've been pretty busy at work, which maybe that's a good thing, depending on the day. All right. So recap what we were just talking about. There's 3 layers to insecurity. There's what happens in the moment of, you know, something happened, and so now I'm feeling insecure about it. There's the why you feel insecure about it, right? So you have to ask yourself, where does this insecurity coming from? Where's this lack of confidence coming from? And then there's the resulting behavior because of that insecurity, which maybe there is, you know, maybe there is a behavior change from the insecurity, but maybe there isn't too. So like, for example, let's take the big nose thing again. Maybe you feel insecure about your big nose. Someone might later in life go get a nose job, but maybe you don't do anything about it. Maybe despite that insecurity, you just keep your nose. And then eventually you come to accept that you like your nose. I don't know. Just depends. So sometimes there is a behavior change, sometimes there isn't. So now let's talk about how to overcome insecurity. So what does that look like? Worst part of those situations is just not knowing what the fuck, because that person to switch off like that. I know. Yeah. I don't know. People are weird. Can't overthink it too much. Exactly. Like, this person in particular, I don't know. I was talking to a few friends about her. Because I was, the thing is, and the reason why I was annoyed afterwards, that I was feeling upset about it and that it really got me down, is because I wasn't even really into her in the first place. I'd been talking to some friends about her because she just could not keep a conversation going. And it was so bad to the point where where I had to like come up with a game and be like, let's play a game where I ask a question and then you ask a question. But the catch is, it can't be the same question. I wouldn't have to do that, you know, in most cases where 2 people are capable of having a conversation and know that, like, if one person asks a question, you just throw the question back at the very least, or you keep it going by asking something else, right? That is not something you should have to do when you're like almost 30, you know? But I was having to do that. And I had to give that scenario because it was to the point where I was just asking her a question. I felt like I was interviewing her at a certain point, and I was just bored. But I thought, you know what, maybe it's different in person, so I was giving her the benefit of the doubt at the same time. So yeah, it was weird. Oh, Annie, hi Annie. Thank you for the hydrate. I have not hydrated in a long time, so I appreciate that. So yeah, I don't even remember what I was talking about there, but yeah, she was very bad at keeping a conversation going. She wasn't asking me questions. Was like responding really basically. Like it was just hard to keep it going. And so she just like stopped responding and didn't say why, but at the same time she seemed very interested when we had started talking. And like we agreed to go on a date. But yeah, then just like totally stopped completely, and I have no idea why, and I'll never know why. And on dating apps, that has been the standard for me. I'll talk to someone for a little bit, and then probably 90% of the time or 95% of the time, whenever I try to make the next step of like, hey, let's go out and do something actually, usually it stops right there. And that to me makes sense because a lot of people are too scared to meet in person, or they're not ready for it for whatever reason. But what doesn't make sense is the other like 5 to 10% of the time where they're like yes, and then just somewhere along the way just stop. It just makes no sense to me. But that's just kind of become the standard for me. Like 99% of the time it doesn't get to the date part, you know. And it gets to I swear it's 99%. Social skills of a brick wall. Seriously, it was brutal. It was pretty brutal. Hello, won't be saying unfortunately no. Unlucky, Annie, unlucky. This semester is aiming to bury me, so I won't be opening Twitch for a long while. No. I love the plant, thank you. Looks very minimal in a nice way. Was worried I didn't see you Monday. Yeah. But then I saw on Discord. Wishing you all the best and can't wait to see the final setup when I survive my work. Have an awesome day / stream. Thank you, Annie. Also, my day is a 4.5. What? What a great day for you. Happy that your day is going really well and that you're really deep in work. I know it's probably like somewhat stressful with all the work you got going on, but I'm glad that it's not affecting your day to the point where you're not feeling positive. So, very happy for you. Very happy for you. I'm glad you could at least pop in for a second. Yeah, no, I didn't stream on Monday though, because I just didn't feel like I was prepared enough for the topic of the stream, and I wanted a little bit more time to prepare for it. So yeah, I pushed it back a couple days. I don't like doing a stream and feeling like I half-assed it. Especially when there's like a topic like insecurity involved, you know, or some sort of research topic. I don't like feeling like I won't do a good job or that I'm not providing some sort of value. So I'd rather just say, hey, let's wait a couple days. That's what I did. Dude, I love Annie. Annie's just great. Annie's just great. I'm so glad that Annie's around. Anyways, have a good day, Annie, if you're still around, but have a good day. Get some work done. Appreciate you stopping in. So first of all, when someone on a dating app disappears like that without explanation, what you've actually done is dodge a bullet. Why'd you want to date someone who has no regard for how other people feel? But that aside, it still hurt and it made you feel insecure. So ask yourself what your expectation was that wasn't met, what you wished would have happened between you and her. Exactly. And Cork, you're getting to why I was annoyed that it got to me, because these are things that I recognized already. So I knew that I shouldn't be upset about it, but I still was, even knowing all of those things that you just said. So that was just like an added layer to it. Being annoyed feeling like I shouldn't be sad and that it shouldn't get to me. And the other thing about dating apps too is the type of people that are on dating apps most of the time are not going to be the type of people that I'm looking for, because people who are on dating apps are looking for, again, this is generalizing, and most of the time, they're looking for to build their confidence through getting matches. They're looking for someone to talk to for a little bit. Usually they're not there to make like a real connection or have like a deep conversation. It's usually someone who's like just wanting to have a short little back and forth. And that's not really me. I'm obviously, I'm more about developing like an authentic connection with someone. And having those more introspective conversations. So it's not like a great place for me to find someone, but with where I'm at, I don't really have the choice. So I'm working with what I got. But that being said, one thing I said I deleted the dating apps. So after thinking about it for a bit, I was like, nah. Okay, like that was a bit extreme. So I actually reinstalled one of them, Hinge. I reinstalled one of them. Then I just decided I'm going to invest very little time in it and energy. So I just told myself like maximum a day I'll like spend 15 minutes on it. That's it. So I lowered my expectations even more than what they were before. And kind of lowered my how high dating is on my list of priorities, which was already pretty low to begin with. So now it's just very low. As I feel like it should be for where I'm at in life. So when you start asking insane questions, are you shaved or is it more of a trim? A bush? What I used to do is I would just do stuff like that to entertain myself. So I would like ask a question that I thought was really funny, or I would say something that was really funny. If someone knew me, they'd think it was really funny. But to someone who like doesn't know me, they're like, wow, this guy's insane, you know? So but yeah, I used to do that. I don't do that anymore though. Whale Stream was fully prepared. Whale Stream was fully prepared, actually. That is one stream that I wish more people came to. That is like one of very few streams where I look back and I'm like, man, I wish there was more people for that stream. Because usually it doesn't bother me, like no matter how many people are in the stream. I'm usually feeling pretty good. But that one, I was like, oh, I put so much effort into this stupid PowerPoint. And I was like, and also it was something that like people wanted too, to like see and hear about. And then it was just like two people. It's like two people, you and Holly in there. And it was still a good time. Like in retrospect, it's funny to think about. But I wish more people were there for that. I put so much fucking effort into that stupid whale stream. And it doesn't even matter. It's like such a stupid... It was just like a meme stream to begin with, you know? Just a joke stream. You learned so much. I learned a little bit. Most of the stuff from that stream I already knew about, but I know way too much about sperm whales. I actually learned a lot about killer whales for that stream. Better to be prepared. That's what I learned this week. Hell yeah. Make streams better and will help loads. Yes. Yeah, I agree. I just feel better knowing that when people come, they're getting a better experience in the stream too. I don't want people to come in and feel like, I don't know. I feel like it shows when someone comes to something and you can tell that they're not prepared or that they're not putting in as much effort. And you can tell when someone is putting in effort. Like, you can see it, you can hear it. And I feel like that has an effect on people too. So I feel like if I came to stream and I was like half prepared for something, or if I wasn't willing to put in effort, then it'll reflect, and that'll have an effect on everyone. And so that by itself motivates me to put in the effort, you know. Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy? You have the VOD for posterity now. Posterity. Yeah, posterity. Can show your kids later. I wonder if I do have that saved. I don't know. I think some of my VODs got deleted. Might not have some of them anymore. That was such a good stream. That was a fun stream. It was fun to make that stream. It's a good time. Anyway, let's get back to insecurity. Let's get back to the topic. Okay, so how to overcome insecurity. All right. So the first step to overcoming insecurity is to do what we just discussed earlier, which is to identify the why you feel insecure. Where is the lack of confidence coming from? Why are you feeling insecure? So that could be, it's probably more complicated than you think it is, but that's the first step. Second step is a lot simpler. I think the first step is probably the most difficult. Is figuring out, it's having trouble speaking apparently, but figuring out why you're feeling insecure and where that comes from. I think that's the hardest part. A lot of times the answer isn't so easy to see. And then the second part is a lot easier, like I said. So simply challenge the why. Challenge it. And it could be in a very small way. So in my example, getting ghosted, one thing that I noticed is that I've been getting ghosted a lot recently. That was my own wording in my head, right? So over the past year. And so my way of challenging that was, it's just been this past year that this ghosting thing has been going on. And before that, it hadn't been the case. It's just been in this past year that for some reason it's been a lot more typical, and it's become kind of a standard this year. So it's fairly new, and I've had all the other years of my life where it would indicate otherwise, that I'm not being ghosted and that there isn't something, you know, like inherently wrong with me to where I should feel insecure. So that was my way of challenging the ghosting bit of it, right? There was other things that I'm insecure about, but I would challenge those in different ways. But that's one example. Then there's the next step, third step, to overcoming your insecurity. And that is to not allow the insecurity to dictate or change your behavior. So, like we were talking about the layers of insecurity before, right? So the last layer is that the behavior that is a result of the insecurity that you have, right? So sometimes you do have behavior change from your insecurity, but sometimes you don't, right? In the case that you do, in the case that you do let the insecurity change your behavior, you need to first challenge it, and then you need to do small things to not let it dictate your behavior in the future, right? So, for example, using the same example of getting ghosted, something I might have done if this was me like 5 years ago, I might have deleted the apps entirely, not thought about it again, and then had a fear of rejection and just not done anything. Just completely avoid it. So I would just avoid dating apps. I would avoid anything dating related, just so that I don't have to deal with the feeling of rejection, the feeling of insecurity, fear, all of those things. So that would be a total behavioral change that wouldn't be good for me, right? In the long term. So that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to let your insecurity dictate your life decisions. So you're going to do things in spite of the insecurity existing. That's the third step. Maybe that's the hardest step. I don't know. I suppose that might be the hardest step. Then there's 2 additional steps, which are kind of like optional, and they're difficult. They're difficult. So these ones are optional, okay? So this is more like a challenge, I would say. I would challenge you guys to do this. The first one is to accept your insecurities may not ever completely disappear. Some of your insecurities might just stick with you forever in some way. Maybe they get better over time, maybe they don't. But maybe they never go away. And try to accept that that might be the case. Not that it will be the case, but that it could be. Okay? And that will give you some peace of mind. That'll give you some peace of mind. The second challenge is a bit more actionable, and that is to separate everything that is external from your internal worth, okay? This one is, I think, really hard. And I worked on this one a lot, and I'm still not there. And I feel like it'll probably take me a lot longer to do this one. Separate everything that is external from your internal worth. I think it's so much more valuable to judge someone, or to judge yourself rather, on your character and the qualities that you have, the values that you have, than it is to judge yourself on anything that is coming from the external, right? So from society, from expectations that other people have, from learned behaviors that you got, from the outside world. Separate all of that from your internal worth and judge yourself based off of the qualities that you have internally, all right? And let's say you're not meeting your own internal values, whatever it is, then that's something you can work on, right? It's a lot easier to accept yourself if you feel like you're being you in a good way, And when you think about people that are successful, like the greats, I'm talking like people who have had a major historical impact, right? When you think of those people, you don't think about things like, they didn't have, they were balding, You think about like Martin Luther King, you don't think about, he wasn't like conventionally attractive or something, or you don't think, I don't know how much hair he had on his head. You don't think like, he was balding, and that like affects how you view Martin Luther King. You know what I mean? You think about his character, you think about who he was as a person to allow him to make the changes that he made. And that's what people remember him for, right? Similarly, you don't think about the way Mother Teresa looked, or Mr. Rogers, you don't think about, how often did they shower, and if they showered a little bit less, that's not going to make you feel a certain type of way about the impact they had on humanity. That's not where your brain goes. That's not how you judge them. So similarly, you want to judge yourself based off of the internal values that you have. So separate those external things and realize that those aren't good things to judge yourself on, right? So that one's really difficult. It was really difficult. Something I'm working on. But I feel like because it's so difficult, it'll take a long time. Cork, you hate step 4? Well, the first step is getting ExpressVPN. Second step is identifying why you feel insecure. Again, step 4 is optional, Cork. It's more of like a challenge, like I said, where, and yeah, it doesn't feel good to accept that some of your insecurities may never fully go away. And you're not accepting that they will never go away. You're just accepting that there is a chance, a possibility that they will never go away. And if they don't, then that's okay, right? Maybe for some reason, I will always be insecure about my teeth. And that's something I'm okay with. That's something I'm okay with. Because at the end of the day, me being insecure about my teeth doesn't really matter that much to me. There are other things about myself that do matter more, and those things I can work on. Those are the internal things. That's what I'm getting at. Honestly, hard not to judge yourself based on external things, especially when we're constantly surrounded by comparisons. Yes, yeah. To what other people have or where they are in life. It's an obvious trap because none of that should define your worth, but for some reason it's still really difficult not to let it affect you. Yeah, man, you're totally right. You're totally right. With social media, it's actually, there's a lot of research that shows the more time you spend on screens, and particularly social media, the less meaning and happiness you have in your life. There's a lot of research to back that up. And part of that comes from being on social media and comparing yourself, whether you want to or not. You're always seeing the happy, highlights of people's lives. You're always seeing edited photos and videos. You're seeing models, bodybuilders all the time on social media. And so naturally you kind of compare yourself, and it's difficult. Ad is starting. Thanks everyone for sticking around for the ad. We're going to take a quick break talking about that important stuff, and we'll get back to it in a few minutes. I'm actually going to take a pee-pee break real quick. Take a piss boy break while the ad's going so that people don't miss anything important if they're not subbed. And I'll be right back after the pee-pee break. Okay, back. I think the ad's over. Looks like it's over. All right. Turn it back down. Music a little bit. Ooh, chills. Chills. All right, where are we at here? Reason step 5, challenge 2 is so hard is because even if I believe something about myself internally, there's such an inherent conflict when people around you, their reality contradicts it. Like you start to feel like a crazy person for ignoring the external and only believing this thing that only exists in your own mind. Interesting. I want to challenge you a little bit on that. Because you're saying the reality of it. So the reality is subjective to you, right? So your reality of what's going on internally, right? What you value yourself on is going to be different than someone else. So someone else might value the external. Say actually the external is more important. Actually, you should be judged by, you know, like your skin color, for example. Maybe you should be judged by how big your nose is, you know. Some people actually believe that. And so for you, I'm sure it's not that case, you know. I'm sure you have different things that you feel like should be the value of a person, you know. What you should judge a person by, what you should judge their character by. And so yeah, that does make it hard when other people have different values and different ideas of what makes a person, you know, good or bad. But I think it's just as important and valid for you to think about what is important for you, you know. It doesn't make you any more wrong because other people have different opinions. And it doesn't make them any more right, you know. Going on air, be less active in chat. No problem, no problem. Good luck on air. But yeah, I find it interesting, Cork, that you phrased it in such a way where the external is the reality rather than what you feel internally, that being the reality. You know? Because what makes the external more valuable or more real than the internal, you know? All right. You know what? I thought I was going to use the iPad today. I thought I was going to have to write some stuff. But actually, yeah, I don't feel like I had to, really. I could have, now that I think about it, I could have written down like the 3 layers. Could have written down the 3 layers of insecurity. And then also the ways to overcome it. Could have done that. But I feel like it was pretty straightforward today. I feel like it wasn't too complicated. Usually when I whip the iPad out, I feel like it's because the concepts are difficult to follow. But I feel like today's concept everyone can relate to, and it was somewhat easy to follow along. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't know. Not sure. Oh, also, Cork, while I have you, actually, I don't know if you're tuned in right now, but I am rescheduling. I saw that you RSVP'd for game night Saturday for Among Us. Pushing that back 1 week so that more people can make it. So it's going to be next Saturday, not this Saturday. I still have to change the dates in Discord. Statistics. If 99 people think murder is wrong and one guy thinks it's fine, then that person's internal reality is objectively in conflict with reality that's agreed by the society he lives in. Okay. So what is the reality that you're saying is wrong? I think the example that you're bringing up is different than what we're talking about. Because one is like a statistical measure of killing someone, you know? And the other is what people value. It's like an opinion, you know? Like one person could say they value looks, and one person could say they value intellect or something, you know, when they're looking for a romantic partner. Is one of them right? Is one of them wrong? You know? Is one of those more real? I don't think so. I think they're just both preferences. You know? Not even talking about social media necessarily. For me, it's more about comparing myself to the people I'm closest to. A lot of my friends are moving into new stages of life, having kids, buying houses, making big career moves, and it's hard not to compare where I am to where they are. I know I'll always have a place in their lives, but there's still a part of me that worries that they don't really need me anymore, or that they see me differently now. I guess that's one of my insecurities. Maybe it's something other people struggle with too. Feeling like people move on with life and kind of leave you behind. I think a lot of people struggle with that. And I also think that how do I say this? I think some people are meant to move on. You're meant to move on from some people, and I think other people are meant to move on from you to some extent. And so I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think it can suck sometimes, for sure. Especially if you're wanting to stay in someone's life and they don't feel the same way, or their priorities just shifted, you know, and they don't have time to hang out like they did. I think that's difficult for sure. But I think the important ones, the ones that matter, the relationships that matter, those ones stick in some way, you know what I mean? I think the ones that are meant to be let go, they kind of just naturally let go. For example, if you've ever had like a friend where you thought they don't really care about you, but you care about them, and then you kind of tested it, and you're like, you know what, I'm just like not gonna message them and see what happens, something like that, or not, I'm not gonna call them, and then just see if they call you ever, and then they don't. You kind of get something from that, you know? It's like, oh, okay, well, this is not someone I was meant to stick around with. wasn't someone that should be in my life anymore. So I feel like sometimes it's, you know, even though it sucks, it's also good in a way. It's kind of like natural. My mom has this good metaphor for like relationships in your life. She says they're like trees. Some people are the roots of the tree. Some people are the trunk. That's the word I was looking for. The trunk. Some people are branches and some people are leaves. So some people go with the season. Some people stick around for a while and then they break off. The wind gets too strong or something. Some people are the roots and they kind of feed your energy, you know, help you grow. And then some people are the literal foundation. Stick around for life, you know. Probably won't be there for game night. No, this is the worst news. I guess it's not a thing about himself, sure. Let me think. Yeah. Take your time. I also think first impressions are often shaped by external milestones. Whether we realize it or not, people tend to notice things like your career, whether you own a house, have a family, or seem like you have your life together. Sometimes it feels like those things become a kind of unspoken benchmark, almost a way of deciding this person has it figured out before anyone really gets to know who they are. I think so. I think that's definitely the case. I think most people make they make like what's the phrase I'm looking for? They make like snap judgments on someone, or their first impressions are based off of things they have, rather than who they literally are right in front of you. You know, what they look like, what kind of clothes they're wearing, whatever. And it's like if you don't have those things, then you get judged. But then I think the people that do that too, I would ask myself, like, if someone was judging me based off of, like, I don't know, some of those benchmarks, I would kind of think to myself, their priorities aren't in order. I would think, they're judging me for things that don't really matter. Don't necessarily think people consciously value those external things above everything else, but they can create an immediate sense of credibility or stability that makes it easier for others to connect with you. When you feel like you're behind on those milestones, it's easy to wonder if you're being seen differently because of it, even if that isn't actually the case. No, you're right. And I definitely have that. That's definitely baked into my insecurity currently. You know, like not having a job, not having like my own place, you know. And so I will often worry, like, when other people hear those things, they're going to judge me in some capacity. But when I really sit with it and think, I think if I was someone else, so like if I heard about my situation, you know, there's someone that's my age, that is unemployed and also doesn't have their own place, would I think differently of them because of their situation? And then likewise, maybe in another scenario, would I think more of someone if they had those things? Would I think they're better? And the answer is I wouldn't think one person's better than the other. Because those aren't things that I judge someone on, or that I would want to judge someone on. So if I did judge someone on those things, I would feel like that is wrong, you know. And so when I think if someone else did that to me, I think, well, that's probably not someone that I would want to associate myself with, or that I would want in my life as like an authentic connection, you know? No, please, Nick. If you feel like you're ranting, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's good when people say the kind of things that you're saying, because one, it generates conversation, you know, and two, it's very real. Like, I feel like that's what the stream's about, you know. So I don't feel like you're ranting at all. I feel like what you're saying is authentic. Or you're just talking about preference of what matters most to you versus what matters most to someone else. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Then yeah, that's totally up to you internally. Right. Yeah. So yeah, exactly, Cork. Like, what matters most to you is your own reality. That's what I was trying to get at. And what matters most to someone else is their reality. And so if everyone else has like a different version of what is supposed to matter, it can definitely make you feel like you were saying, where you feel kind of crazy for valuing different things. But if you find people that value the same things that you do, or at least value very similar things, and you seek those people out and then surround yourself with those types of people, you're going to feel a little bit better. You know, you're going to feel a little bit less crazy. They're going to like you for you. You're going to like them for them. Yeah. It's easier said than done, though, for sure. I tell you what, I'd surrounded myself with a lot of people that I didn't really like and didn't really like me. But I just kind of put up with it for a long time. And tell you what, when I dropped those people, life's been so much easier, man. Life's been so much easier. And it gave me room to find people that actually I do enjoy hanging out with. And I don't have to think about, do they enjoy hanging out with me? Because I know they value the same things I do. I agree with what you said. Some people are meant to move on. I like that. Sounds natural. Yeah. I think so. I think there are people in your life that are meant to move out of it. And it goes both ways, though, you know? Tree metaphor, 10 out. I know, dude. That one has stuck with me. The tree metaphor. Because it's been the case. People have kind of, especially when I moved areas, because I've moved a lot, people have kind of like phased out of my life. And it's not that I didn't like them or that they didn't like me. Just circumstances changed. Became harder to keep in contact. I don't hold anything against those people, and you know, to an extent, it's kind of sad. But it's also nice to reconnect too when the opportunity arises, and maybe that's all it was with those girls on the dating apps who disappeared without any explanation. Some people are meant to move on. I think so, yeah. To an extent, I think they were not going to work out. For sure, they were not going to work out. Like I said, the one couldn't hold a conversation, and that for me is definitely a deal breaker. But I was giving them the benefit of the doubt anyways, and so I think it wouldn't have worked for me to some extent, but for some reason that I'll never know, it wasn't working out for them. And so they were meant to move on. And I think I would have found the same answer had it kept going. He's talking about us, chat. See you guys. Peacing out forever. I think Dale likes us. Yeah, I think so. Maybe more than like. Some of you. Let's not go there. He asked like the number one DVD content creator of the year. You're so right, Nick, dude. I have to. How else am I gonna get big if I'm not friends with the number one content creator of the year for Dead by Daylight, nominated and awarded? How else am I gonna get big, man? When you asked if I've ever been insecure in my life, I forgot to say yes because it was like you asked me if the sky was blue. Yeah. I feel like everyone would say yes. But I also know there's people that would say no. And you're someone who I feel like it could have gone either way. It could have gone either way. So I feel there are some times where you'll answer something and there's insecurity baked into what you're saying, but the actual acknowledgement of the insecurity isn't there, if that makes sense. Like the explicit. It's like always implied, you know? When it comes to being attractive and trying to date, that's a ship that's already sailed. Yeah, see, like right there, it's like I've heard you say similar things to that, where it's like, oh, I've like never, or like I gave up on it or something. So there's like insecurity baked into it, but I've never heard you explicitly say like I'm insecure about this, or I am insecure in general because of whatever. I don't know. Watch it leave port, shrink into the distant crest over the horizon, circumnavigate the globe, and pass by me. Second time and crest over the horizon again. I definitely have insecurities around how little I've accomplished given my age. That's interesting. Because Cork, I imagine you're the same. You're not the same age, but very close to my age. And if we were to compare, I imagine you've accomplished significantly more conventionally speaking than I have. I think it's who you're comparing yourself to. And also maybe your standard for yourself. And I imagine, knowing you, I feel like your standard for yourself is quite high, and depending on the area. Like the fact that pretty much every professional athlete is now much younger than me, and so is every big new actor. Yes. See, this is what I was wondering. I was like, who is he comparing himself to? Makes sense when you're comparing yourself to those sorts of people. It's existentially dreadful. And when Trev said, I'm about to go on air, my immediate thought was, holy crap, does Trev host a radio show? What am I even doing with my life? Yeah, Trev is on a radio show. That's what he does for work. It's fucking sick. It's cool. Yeah. Trev was like, yeah, it is pretty sick. He hosts a radio show. Yeah. But pushing back a little bit again, Cork. Are your grandkids gonna really give a fuck if you're on the Forbes 30 under 30? Probably not, if you have grandkids, you know? People don't really care, you know? I couldn't even tell you someone on the Forbes 30 under 30, you know? I don't care. That's not like what measures a person's worth, you know? So comparing yourself to these people that are like ultra successful, even actors, all right? Let's take actors. Let's take big actors. I couldn't tell you like a huge actor from like 50 years ago, you know? Or I could tell you like very few. They get forgotten, you know? Maybe you could because you're a movie aficionado. Maybe that's a bad example. But most people don't really care, you know, about that sort of thing. The people that get like really remembered have a character that is worth remembering. They have values that are worth remembering. And so I think if you're going to strive for something, it's to improve on your character and your values and the things that you think are worth judging someone on. And then eventually, maybe through working on those values, you achieve something. that you feel like represents those values in some particular way. Maybe you don't, but it doesn't matter, because you're the person that you think is worthy, you know, and that brings meaning to your life regardless. And other people will remember you, whether it's a lot or a few, for those things, and that'll stick with them more than you being on Forbes 30 under 30 for I don't know, making a new plushie business, you know. Just another way of him saying, hey guys, as the #1 DBD content creator of the year, I will be going live now. When we get to his caliber, it's simply called going on air. I know. Quite literally going into the air, and because he is above us, like a beautiful godlike creature the human brain can't comprehend. This is going in the quotes. This is going in the quotes. Does my add quote command work? We're about to find out. Hell yeah, it does. All right. That with no context is great for the people that aren't in on the bit. Some are positioned at college station, so it's nothing crazy, but Cork didn't know that. I wasn't gonna say it, but here's the thing. Cork didn't know that, and he thought it was fucking sick. Right? Does that make it any less sick? Now that you've said that? It shouldn't. Right? It is still super cool that Trev does that. Whether or not it's like a huge show or not, the fact that he's fucking doing it is so cool. Was Marilyn Monroe 50 years ago? I don't know, maybe. Like, there are people I could recall. Maybe, like, I mean, was Frank Sinatra an actor? I don't know, man. I don't know. He was a singer. I don't know if maybe he acted. Like, who's like a famous old actor? Maybe, oh wait, see, like, still, like, I struggle, even if I can, like, think of, like, faces, you know? Either way, eventually they're gonna be forgotten, you know what I mean? Give them another 100 years. Still in a medium market, so it ain't nothing true. Not gonna have grandkids. I feel like... So, Cork, this is a great example of... Well, actually, I'm assuming here. I'm doing some assuming. But this is an example, could be an example, of how insecurity is affecting behavior. So you've accepted already that dates are out of the question. There's a reason why your behavior has changed. And so part of battling your insecurity and overcoming it is doing things in spite of feeling the insecurity. And then through doing things in spite of the insecurity, what that actually is doing for you is building confidence, which is kind of like the antithesis of insecurity. Nick. But I was gone for 20 seconds and you quoted this. I hate it here. Dude, I love the bit. I love the bit. Oh, it's so good. I love the DVD content creator bit. And I love how uncomfortable it makes Trev. Every time. It's the best. Every time introducing Trev to a new person and saying he's the content creator of the year and that he won the award for it. It's so good. It's so good. 50 years ago was only 1970s. When you put it like that, yeah. But still, I can't think of someone from 1976, like an actor. Like a movie that was popular around the time where there might have been an actor in it that was significant. I couldn't tell you one. See, Godfather was a movie. Was that released at that time? I don't know. I haven't even seen The Godfather. I should watch it, but I haven't seen it. I couldn't tell you the actors in it. Wizard of Oz is the one I was remembering. And I was trying to remember the girl's name. It's like Ellie or Ella or something. That's the only person I could think of, and I still can't remember her name. So... yeah, fucking Dorothy, but what's her name, though? I can't remember her name. That was the only one where I was like, okay, that is a name I know of, I just can't remember it right now. Almost 90 years ago, that's crazy. Al Pacino? Dude, is that a... I don't even know if that's a character in the movie or if that's a real fucking guy. Oh, I just bit my tongue. Wizard of Oz was the first movie in color. I think that's partially why most people remember it. Alright, Al Pacino is an actor, not the movie. Not a character in the movie. Got it. But was... oh, 1972. Okay. Okay. Nice. Watched a movie as a kid, I wore out the VHS. Same, dude. But yeah, so people... pretty much every big actor that is big gets forgotten. There's some exceptions. Like, you know, first color, moving color. Whatever Dorothy's name is. People are gonna remember because it's the first movie in color. If they're not me, you know, or one of us, apparently. Maybe you remember like one or two actors, but like, think of all the actors you know right now that are big right now. People in 50 years will remember like one of them. You know. That's what I'm saying. Was this supposed to make you feel better or worse? I guess that's up to you, really. I think my only objective, Cork, with what we were talking about with you is I guess I have a couple. So one was just to point out that it seems as though your behavior has changed as a result of insecurity, the feeling of it. And then 2, just to push back a little bit on some of the frameworks you've built around it, some of the perceptions. Not to change anything, but just to push back. That's it. Maybe that helps you, maybe it doesn't. But get you thinking about it a little bit. That's really my only goal. Being doomed to be forgotten no matter how much I accomplish is my single greatest fear in life. That is something I knew about you, Court, from previous conversations. And we've talked about that in the past. I think it's exploring where that is worth exploring where that's coming from. And maybe when you get to the bottom of that rabbit hole, you discover maybe that is important to you. To be remembered for a long period of time. But maybe you don't. Maybe you think at the end of it, you know, if I mattered to some people at the end, if the people that care about me, or actually if the people that you care about, if they would miss you for some reason when you're gone, maybe that's all that matters to you, you know? I don't know. Could be, it's different, you know? It's different for everyone. It's like, what's the meaning of life? Answering that question. If it's gonna happen regardless, then there's no point in worrying about it. That's how I view it. Oh, being forgotten? That's one perspective you can have on it. I think a lot of people adopt that perspective of like, I'm just like a particle in space. And time is basically infinite. So what's the point? You know? It's kind of like a nihilist view. And some people believe there's like some greater purpose from some divine being. And it's all gonna come together. It will never be forgotten how many of these stars you've caught. Dude, if anything is remembered, it'll be fucking that, Cork. You're damn right. Hashtag never forget. Cork caught stars on the It's Sidale stream. 8/5/2026. That shit was hype. Alright, guys. I think now's a good time to wrap her up. Let's talk about real quick what we're going to do next stream. Upcoming events and whatnot. So hopefully by next stream, we'll have the cork board. If I do have the cork board here, like it actually gets sent out, then we'll have, you know, we'll start working with it. We'll have community goals, like there'll be an interactive thing. If not, then it's gonna look the same. Because I feel like I can't do the rest of it without changing things. Without having the cork board. That's what I'm trying to say. What's up, Goofer? How you doing, Goof? Back with the fucking dancing cat, baby. Named a board at Dude, I didn't even think about that. The cork board. No, what if I actually called it the cork board, but with a Q? I mean, I'm not gonna call it the cork board, but I feel like when I say cork board, now I'm gonna think about that. I think the board's, I haven't decided exactly what the board's gonna say. It's probably gonna say something like community goals or something. But yeah. Now when I say corkboard, and when I say corkboard, just know I'm saying it with a Q, not a K. 2 for all 3 streak. He's streaking in the chat. Thank you. Gonna move to the board sponsored by Cork. Unless Cork plans on forking over $52.99, it's not sponsored by Cork, because that's how much the fucking board cost. Tell you that much. So no, not sponsored by Cork. Sponsored by fucking yours truly, baby. All right. So yeah, there's that. Also, there's game night. Not this Saturday, like I said in the Discord. It's gonna be next Saturday, so that Izzy and Evan can make it. What else is coming up? What else is coming up? Oh, yeah. Keep in mind what you guys mentioned earlier, how to make your day a little bit better. Whatever you said earlier to which question number was it? Was it this one? Nope. This one. One way you can make yourself feel a little bit better today. Whatever your answer was to that, try and do it. Try and do it to make your day a little bit better after stream. And I guess I want to leave you guys with one thing that you felt like you got out of the stream today. You felt like you got something out of the stream today? Let me know what it is. If there's something you want to remember for the week or moving forward, if there's something you want to remember, tell me what it is. What made coming to the stream worth it today? How much was it? It was $52. Yeah. It was cuz it's big. It's I think it's 48 by 36. I think were the dimensions of it. So it's big. It's going to be like where my fingers are, it'll be like that wide, which doesn't look that big on the screen, but it's large. Brought to you in part by Uber Cork in chat. We'll say that. We'll say that. Gotta support good buddy. Hell yeah. That's a good reason. That's a good reason. I like that reason. All right, let's see if we can find someone to raid. See if we can find somebody. Oh, holy shit, Cork. Oh my god, dude, thank you. What the hell? Actual sponsored. Holy shit. Fuck it. It is the corkboard now. It is. Holy shit, thanks, man. Wow. Dude, I haven't gotten a donation since I came back to streaming. I mean, since before that. So I haven't gotten one since I came back, so thank you. First donation. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Still the old username? All right, well, let's see. Well, I haven't had to update it, as you can tell. Change donation link. Thanks, Cork. Jeez, man. That's so much. I appreciate that. Who knows how many people tried to donate and couldn't? I doubt it. Someone would have said, someone would have been like, hey, I tried to use your link and it didn't go through. So yeah, I don't for a second I was like, oh damn, maybe that did happen, but there's no way. Yeah, kind of a Giga Chad move. Well, yeah, how much was it? Okay. All right. Jesus. Cork just dropping that out of nowhere. Out of actual nowhere. Took Capri Sun in half with my bare hands in second grade. Okay. Nobody messed with you? I wouldn't. If I saw someone do that, I'd be scared. I'd be scared to death. In second grade, you know what I did? I had a bean burrito for lunch, and it got on my shirt. And then I got made fun of for having what looked like a poop stain on my shirt. That's about my second grade experience. I would have stayed away from you, Goofer. That's too much for me. I think I'm gonna put sponsored by Cork somewhere on the board. Or I'll have to put Cork board. I'll put Cork board somewhere on it. I feel like that's funnier. Cork boards. I don't know. I'll have cork board on it with a Q. Like in the top corner, one of the top corners or something, or in the bottom corner. I don't know, one of the corners. And then everyone will be in on the bit too. Dang, dude. That's crazy. 52? It's like, I feel like that's legitimately the most I've received ever. Because before, all the money went to charity, like back in the day. So this is like the first time I've actually received money from Twitch. Other than, like, you know, subs accumulating over time. Damn, dude, thank you. I appreciate that. Seriously. It's just super nice of you. And I honestly really need it. I honestly really need it. So, yeah, man, thanks. Corkboard is the way? I think so, yeah. Second grade was the last time I had my face painted. You know what? Probably same. And I was thinking about getting my face painted the other day. I was like looking at some kids. Pause. I was at like a fair type of thing. And I saw kids with face paint on, and I was like, man, when's the last time I've done that? I should do that. That seems like fun. I was like jealous. I was jealous of the kids getting their face painted. I'd like to have someone do a little drawing on my face, you know? You know what I did in second grade? Started using the name Cork when I named myself in video games. I do remember you saying something about Cork just being a name that stuck or something. I don't remember what it came from, though. I don't remember where it came from. Oh, you might not have told me. My username in second grade for games, I think my first username was Private Parts. Like PVT Parts, like private. Because I thought it was really funny. I think that was my first username, and that was my username in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. That was my username. So how old was I? I was probably like 8. I was around age 8. 8 or 9, I want to say. Probably 9. Probably closer to 9. So actually that would have been when I was in around 2nd grade age. But I would have been in 3rd grade. Because I skipped a year of school. No. I skipped a year of school. Yeah. No, yeah, just just putting that out there so you guys know I skipped a grade, and the grade I skipped was 2nd, so wasn't in 2nd grade for long. I had school suspension for punching a bully, even though he started the fight by kicking and punching me. I never got suspended for getting in fights, but I did fight back a few times, and then they never messed with me again. I had a few people who tried to bully me, but it didn't work out for them. I remember the first time I was in kindergarten. There was this fucker named Loudon. And one time I was riding my Barney tricycle down a hill, and I just didn't brake, and I just ate shit. And so I had this huge scab across my face. But I was in Taekwondo at the time too, my kindergarten self. And so in Taekwondo, there's this, I don't know if this is like a universal thing or not, but there's this thing called a form where you have to learn like a series of moves and do them in succession. So this kid named Loudon, I was really patient with this kid because there was like, obviously he had like anger issues or something, but he was always acting out. And so one day when I had that scab, he just came up and smacked me on the face on that scab. So I unleashed on the kid. I beat the shit out of Loudon that day. And I kid you not, that the teacher had the greatest response of all time, because the teacher didn't like the kid either because he was always acting out. Teacher said that she saw the whole thing happen and just let it ride. She just let that shit ride. I unleashed my full form on him. Full set, dude. I did my Kagebun no Jutsu fireball on him. I did that. I did my ninjutsu, my Sharingan, my Rasengan. I unleashed my full moveset, my entire arsenal on the kid. And my teacher just watched from the window and was like, I fucking love this. Just cinema. And then didn't tell the principal. All she did was call my mom, say, hey, Mama Dale, your son got in a fight at school today. And my mom was like, what the hell? And she was like, but between you and me, kid had it coming, and I'm not going to say anything. And that was it. That was the whole thing. There's other times, like later in school, where like kids tried to pick on me, but then I would just fight back. Because I was like a pretty big kid. I was really skinny, but I was tall. And I like did Taekwondo, so gotten school suspension. Damn. Yeah, I never started a fight though. Goof. I never started one. I never intentionally hit a kid just for shits and giggles, you know. That's when you learn you hated having your face painted? Wait, why? Is it, but your comedy may have peaked at age 9? I think so. Well, I've just kept the comedy since I was 9. So really I've just maintained my peak. No, actually no, it's definitely devolved. No, you're right. It's definitely gone down from there. Because now I make pee-pee jokes, and I didn't really know that pee-pee jokes were a thing and when I was 9. So now I make pee-pee poo-poo jokes. Pee-pee poo-poo penis jokes, and yeah. Basically like a lot of sex jokes now. Beat up the bully in like kindergarten, and the teacher looks the other way. Dude, respect to teachers that do that. when a kid has it coming and they see it start, and then, you know, the one kid just starts wailing on the other one that, like, you know, didn't start it, and the teacher just lets it ride. That'd be me. If I was a teacher, I'd be like, hell yeah. Get his ass. And with the double windmill arms. I don't even remember what the form was, because I remember within it there were like moves that were for defense, you know? So I'm sure I just like did random defensive moves that didn't do anything. Taught his ass though. I have weird sensory problems. The way I wonder if I'll have a little bit of the tism, Trev. Perhaps, maybe just the sensory issues or sensory sensitivities. I don't know. I know a lot of people that have sensory sensitivities have a little bit of the tism though. Cork. Having paint or like a face mask on makes me panic? Interesting. Wonder if it's just physical. Just a physical or maybe like a metaphorical mask as well. Imagine if it's just the sensory bit. Definitely do have a smidge of it. Only a smidge? Sure. Sure about that? Alright, guys. You don't even like looking at face paint? I think it's cute on kids. I think if kids have like a little butterfly on their face or like a dragon, I think that's kind of cute. Alright. See if we can find someone to raid. Here is the raid message. Boom. Did it fucking go? Hello? Did I not press the button? I guess I didn't press the button. Alright. See if there's anyone we know. If not, we'll just call it. Grubby's on. And you know I raid Grubby literally every time I see her on, so that's probably what we'll do. Let me check and see if maybe there's someone else I know. You know what? I've never rated She Snaps. She's never been live while I've been streaming. And yeah, fuck it. Let's raid She Snaps. She Snaps is a mental health streamer. She's really interesting to talk to. First time I talked to her was I feel like I learned a lot first time I talked to her, but yeah, she's a lot more spiritual, I'll say, than I am. Heavily opinionated too. So yeah, but she knows a lot. She knows a lot, has a lot of life experience. So let's raid her. We've never raided her before. All right. Thanks again, everyone who came in today. Appreciate the good conversations. I feel like today was a really good stream. I had a good time. I was really looking forward to today's stream too. And I'm just really excited about future streams because I feel like after we've gotten these I feel like I'm figuring out this stream direction that feels good for me moving forward. And I feel like I don't know, I'm just excited about that, I guess. I'm just excited about it. Hopefully you guys will also enjoy it. I think you guys will. Did weird things like make me avoid yogurt because you hated the lids? The heck? When people lick the lids, I will always gag? What? I was a lid licker back in the day. Like the little, the Trix yogurt. Oh man, I would lick the shit out of those. No thanks, I'd rather, what? Wow. Host a radio show and I mean, valid though, Kirby. Stay at lunch as fast as I could. Vacuum mode. Sometimes it'd be that way, Goofer. All right. Let's go ahead and raid. Let's raid snaps. Go ahead and copy the raid message if you can. Be respectful. Be nice. I know you guys will be, but you know. The raid message one more time. Boom. Raid message. Actually, I forgot to copy it. I always forget to. Alright, guys. Thanks, everyone. Cork, thanks for the donation today. The big dono. For sponsoring the cork board. Appreciate you, my guy. Alright, I'll see you guys, I'll see you guys next Monday. It's upcoming Monday. See you guys. Peace.